What if I told you that the next Apple event just leaked? Would you believe a guy that looked like me? That was as mobile as this? I am the most mobile Apple YouTuber in the world right now. No one can compete. Let's jump into the news! Alright, so all the details for Apple's next event have leaked. It's happening in the spring, and according to Dylan DKT, we now know the products and the features, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of excited for this thing. And if you are too, you should drop a like down below. And hit subscribe so of course you guys stay up to date on all the latest content. Most importantly, tap that bell so you know whenever I upload. Okay guys. So we have so many stories to get into normally, but that's a normal video. What so far about this video has felt normal to you? Nothing at all. And that's how we're gonna keep it in 2022. Just constant crackhead energy, because I don't know about you, but I need another fix. Okay guys, so this event, when is it taking place? We are expecting it to be in the spring. And when I say expect, I mean it is happening then, because we have heard from Mark Gurman it will be in March or April. And while Mark is a really good source, the main subject of today's video is this dude called Dylan DKT. And I will say, while the man has an F for branding, he has an S+ for info. Because just to give you an example of what Dylan has leaked in the past, he was the first source in the world to say that the M1 processor, a Mac processor, was coming to the iPad. He's also told us extensive details time and time again about upcoming Apple products, just months or sometimes even years ahead of when things happen. And there's no explanation for what this man does or where he's come from, but all I know is that I appreciate him. So that brings us to right now, today, where Dylan DKT has shared what is coming in this spring. And it includes a couple of things that were not on my radar before. So let's just go down the list. I want to start off with the things we've already known about. First of all, that iPhone SE with 5G and a new processor. Again, nothing special. It is largely going to look the same. I'm sure there's going to be some fresh wallpapers and maybe some new colors on Apple's part just to make this phone a little bit more interesting in the slightest. But it's also Apple's lowest end phone, so I'm not expecting the world here. Second up is this new iPad Air. We heard about it from Mac and Takara, and now Mark Gurman is echoing the same thing, that a new iPad is coming, and Dylan DKT has tripled down on this. Because a new iPad Air will be showing up at this event, and it makes sense. It's a reasonable time frame. Like the last time we saw an iPad Air update was in September of 2020. It's essentially been a year and a half, so we are due. Now, the other reason that I bring up the iPhone SE3 and this new iPad Air first is because Apple themselves have confirmed the products through regulatory filings. These are coming very soon. Again, probably in March or April, but definitely at an event. But again, I'm not making this video just to reiterate things that we've already talked about, because those two things alone, I mean, you know, the lowest end iPhone and a mid-tier iPad, it'll be nice upgrades for people that are buying, but not necessarily the products that are trying to push boundaries or really change anything too drastic. That is going to come with these new Macs that are coming. And that's because completing this trio of Apple products is going to be the new Mac Mini. This is the first time a high-end Mac Mini will be getting Apple Silicon with M1 Pro and M1 Max chips inside. And while the power is going to be a big part of the story here, it's also going to be the first Mac Mini redesign in years, since, I don't know, 2014 or sometime around then, where it's going to kind of go back to its roots with that fiberglass top and draw some nostalgia with the older mid-2000s design, but also in a very sleek and fresh design that I really am into. There's going to be more ports on the back, more USB, HDMI of course to connect, and a magnetic charging connector like the iMac. Yeah, by and far, I am most excited for this new Mac Mini, and I thought that was enough for the event, but we are also hearing that Apple's got a one more thing planned. Okay, I'm calling it a one more thing just because I could see it being unveiled as such. The new iMac, the big iMac, the Pro iMac, the return of the iMac Pro, Dylan says is happening in the spring. Now, to be clear up front, he does make sure to let us know that there could be some production issues and it could potentially be delayed. It's like, Dylan, dude, like, can I be excited for a second? Can you tear me down after I build my excitement up for months? You don't have to be like, I think it's coming, but also production. Like, just let me believe it's coming. And then 2 days before the event, tweet out, JK, nah. And then I'll die or something. I personally still believe there's a very good chance for this to launch, just because, as we'll talk about momentarily, Apple has a lot of things, like a crazy amount of things that they're coming out with in the fall. So let's focus on this iMac Pro right now. This is gonna be the final major mainstream release for Apple Silicon because it's gonna be the first time in a larger iMac that we get to see what Apple has been up to. And plainly put, we're hearing that it's gonna be similar to the MacBook Pro. Like there's gonna be a new design and there will be some new ports, and the M1 Pro and the M1 Max from the MacBook Pro that Apple is also putting in the new Mac Mini, that's gonna be inside of this machine. But it's left some to wonder if this is going to be a new Pro iMac, not just a big version of the existing iMac. Like, wouldn't Apple want to do something special? Like, wouldn't they want to push Apple Silicon just a tad further? Just to see what would happen. And they are, because in this iMac Pro, in addition to those normal specs of like a 10-core CPU and up to a 32-core GPU and 32 gigabytes of RAM, Apple's also working on a special, what I'm calling the M1 Maxer chip, because what else are they gonna call this? You see, we could guess at this game all day because Apple's names just aren't predictable anymore, so I'm gonna call it the M1 Maxer. And this M1 Maxer is gonna be the first Apple Silicon to have a 12-core CPU, which is 2 more cores than you can get in the MacBook Pro right now. And also, if Apple would have all of this design room, it would make sense to try to push the chips a little bit further rather than just copy and pasting this laptop design. Baby, I am gonna buy this so fast. At first I was like, maybe it'll be the same, and then I'll like talk myself into not really needing to buy the spec'd out one. And now I'm just like, it's gonna be a little bit faster, so I'm gonna have to just throw this MacBook out the window and get the iMac, right? So all of that, that's just the spring event. That's iPhone SE, iPad Air, Mac Mini, and likely an iMac Pro. But Apple's got an insane amount of things to release later in the year in what Dylan, Mark Gurman, and others are calling the biggest year for Apple in their history. I know it sounds like clickbait, but somebody that is 87% accurate over the course of 500 leaks has put their name on the fact that Apple is going to release more this fall than they have ever released in recorded history. Okay, sounds like I better start sleeping now because it's gonna be a little bit busy. Gurman says, I'm told Apple is readying the widest array of new hardware products in its history this fall. That list includes 4 new iPhones, a low-end MacBook Pro, an updated iMac, a new Mac Pro, a revamped MacBook Air, an AirPods Pro upgrade, 3 Apple Watches, a low-end iPad, and iPad Pros. Holy shit, dude. That's just so much. That's like the most ever. That's like a big number of Apple products. And my small little monkey brain goes, because I can't compute. I need the M1 Maxer in my head to work out the numbers on this one. Here's what I really think this means, that the years of delays caused by COVID and Apple's management changing a little bit is finally, maybe, hopefully, coming to an end after such a long time where everything is just essentially gonna ship at once. This is crazy, all right? I hope you guys are excited. So this is my new dog. Hello. You'd like to see the latest Apple news? Well, you're just in luck, because a guy just slid on in. Damn, I don't really want to do the video now. This is kind of fun. This is also so dangerous. Oh man, this is fun though. Hey, what's up guys? It's Sam here. You guys want to hear about that Apple event? What's up guys? Guys. Yo, the Apple event leaked. And we got it. Yo. It's tough when you're working in little spaces. They don't tell you that on the TV. What if I told you that the Apple event just leaked? What if I told you? Oh, that was so scary.